You told me that we had to hide here. Because Dad was the Green Arrow.
Anyone ever found out who your father is or who you are?
How's it going, Vigilantes? Welcome to a brand new Arrow Season 7 trailer breakdown. This is for episode 16, titled Star City 2040. And as you can judge from that trailer, this probably won't be a long video, just like last week's trailer breakdown, because there's only so much you can really say about this. There is one promo photo, but, you know, what I will say is after seeing that trailer, here is the synopsis so we can get a little bit more context before we dive into things. Mia and William venture into the Glades on a dangerous mission. There they run into Dinah, Roy, and Zoe, who deliver some devastating news. The flash forwards share highlights from Mia's childhood with Felicity. So I'm guessing, and it's fairly self-explanatory as well, that this episode is probably going to give away quite a bit. Just because they're not showing hardly anything from it. I mean, they could release more promo photos nearer the time of this episode before it comes out, but at the moment, as I said, there's only one, and you're probably seeing it on screen right now, and that is Mia's Smoak, and I'm guessing it's also in the Glades, because that's where they're going this episode. But also, if you remember back from that Glades episode where Zoe went to see her father in the future forward, flash forward scenes, we knew, or at least we saw that the color palette, or like the kind of filter that they used on the screen compared to the normal flash forward scenes, which is that kind of bluey, shiny, you know, color outside the Glades when you're in Star City, versus when you're in the Glades, it's more like a yellowy, normal color palette-y kind of, you know, filter on the screen. And in this picture of Mia on the screen, you can see that it's still sticking to that. So I'm guessing this is her, well, God knows what's happening in this specific scene, but potentially learning something. It could be learning what they mentioned in the synopsis, where Zoe and Roy and Dinah delivers some devastating news. Now, what could that devastating news be, just before we dive straight into that trailer? I'm not entirely sure. I mean, could it be that, oh, I don't think it would be like Felicity being dead when they thought that she was alive and, you know, don't try and come find me. Maybe that could be something as simple as that, but they really know that she isn't after what they learned from the cassette player. But let's dive into the specifics of this actual trailer, this very, very, very quick trailer that shows a cabin in the woods. So it looks like, yeah, so this is Star City 2040. I'm really looking forward to seeing the childhoodish scenes with Mia and Felicity, seeing what she's like after Oliver is gone. It's going to be super interesting to see how they dot around obviously Crisis on Infinite Earths as well, since we know that Arrow is ending next season with a final 10 episodes. It's kind of very obvious to a lot of people. I mean, we could be wrong on this, but for now, let's assume that Oliver dies instead of Barry Allen in the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. So, you know, for them to actually do an episode where we're going to see Felicity with Mia as a kid, I get how they can dodge scenes referencing Oliver when she's just a kid, right? But if they meet her in the Glades or something like that, in the actual present day flash forward scenes, if that makes sense, then, you know, it's going to be super interesting to see how they talk about Oliver in the past tense, because they haven't actually outright said your father is dead. They've kind of used, oh, he was and he is. Like, it's kind of confusing. That's like indicating, oh, so he's dead. Oh, wait, he is that kind of person. You get what I'm trying to say. So essentially what we see here is that, well, mainly the cabin scenes, is that Felicity is giving birth. The text in the trailer is like, a hero's legacy is born. And obviously that's referring to Mia Smoak being Oliver Queen's legacy. Now, William, you know, if you're thinking about a Team Arrow kind of spin-off show or something like that with the future flash forward cast, Mia would be the Green Arrow, William would be the Felicity, we'd have Connor Hawke as like a Speedy, or like you could swap those two around, because Mia's a badass, and I bet we're going to learn that she's good with a bow and arrow. Maybe they've said that she isn't, but she's such a badass that she could learn that. As I said, you could swap Connor Hawke around with her, maybe. And then, you know, you've got the kind of a few members from the original Team Arrow, like Dinah, and you've got Zoe. So, yeah, I know, random comment, but, you know, this is what is kind of linked to the trailer, obviously, with how they're saying, oh, it's, you know, a hero's legacy is born. Because she is the goddamn successor, even though shit goes to shit for the next 20 years, kind of. You know, with Star City falling, the Glades rising, with a massive freaking wall around it. You know, it's obviously going to get to a point 20 plus years in the future where we're seeing in the present day scenes by the end of this season, or maybe, you know, a little bit into season 8, things are going to be getting better with the new Team Arrow. So I think the audio is more interesting than what we actually see in the trailer. Mia says, "You told me we had to hide here because Dad was the Green Arrow." Now let me start off straight off the bat there. Why would they have to hide if they've been deputized by the SCPD? Well, that's because shit obviously goes south. Now we've known this for a long time, that in the future Star City scenes, we know that the SCPD would love to hunt down any vigilantes. That's just a thing. Vigilantes obviously go way off like the cliff with what they're allowed to, well, with even being a thing. So it's so fascinating imagining what happens. I feel like I guess you could say they foreshadowed that in the most recent episode with how obviously Oliver and crew just want to do things their own way, not exactly the SCPD kind of way, but yet by the end of the episode, the SCPD are cool with how they conducted that last mission. So what goes wrong? What goes wrong in the future, especially if they're allowed to do, you know, well, use brute force and their own weapons and their own uniforms? What could go wrong? What does go wrong? But either way, something does. Something does go wrong to the point where they literally have to hide out in the woods. I think that's pretty awesome, imagining the fact that Oliver might be hunted for his life again. I'm only assuming this, but the fact that they have to hide in a cabin in the woods because Mia's being born. We even hear in the actual trailer Felicity saying, probably in, you know, a future kind of childhood scene with Mia, or maybe in the present day scene, we're gonna have to wait and see. If anyone ever found out who your father is or who you are, we don't get the next line, but I'm guessing, you know, it would mean bad things. Now, why would that mean bad things? You could go the whole traditional route of, oh, you know, my enemies can't know my family's identity, but we're way past that. They know who William is. They could find, you know, so I don't think it's that. I think at some point, surely Oliver and crew has to be outlawed again, and they're hunted for, well, kind of again. So they go, I mean, this is such random speculation. It's probably not going to go this way, but it's the only reason I can think of why they have to have this baby in secret. I mean, if you think about the recent scenes as well with Dinah a couple of episodes back, she didn't even know that Mia was born. I mean, he said, like, I knew Felicity and Oliver had a baby, but like something like that. But it's obviously something happens to the point where they want to keep this baby super, super secret, that to the point where Team Arrow might not fully know about Mia. I mean, Diggle does because he told Connor Hawke to look over her, but you know, at least Dinah, if you remember, guys, was a bit flabbergasted by Mia's reveal. So I don't know, there's so many things going around my head. Like, why are they in this cabin? Are they really running from the SCPD? I mean, they could be, because we know in the future vigilantes are so freaking outlawed they're being hunted. I mean, look at the latest episode, like when William distracted the SCPD officers for like a Canary sighting. They were like on that shit. So it's going to be super interesting. But I you know, other things we naturally see in the trailers, how happy Oliver looks when Mia's being born. We do see an Arrow, however, shoot the photo of Oliver and Felicity. You know, and there's like an apple that's being shot at the same time. This could literally be Mia. It could be someone else. We'll have to wait and see there. But I'm guessing something bad happens in the cabin. Could be a past scene. But then again, it could be a present day scene. That could be where Felicity's hiding, but maybe not, because maybe Mia Smoak would know that because she was raised in this cabin, maybe. But, you know, I'm going to end the video now, guys, because there isn't really too much else to say. I'm looking through the trailer right now, but there isn't much more else to say apart from the you know, discussion we've had already, just mixed in with the speculation, mixed in with the synopsis. I'm guessing this is going to be quite an insightful episode, you know, in my concluding thoughts, just because, you know, we're going to get a lot more clues to the future. Mia Smoak's true origin will be next week's episode. And I can't wait for that, to be honest. It's going to be a lot more interesting than the most recent episode, at least in my books. This trailer has me hyped, despite how little they show. But other than that, guys, I would really appreciate it if you left a like on this video, if you got this far, especially if you got this far. Be sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on anything you want to expand on, maybe what I said, or if you have any new thoughts to offer, be sure to let me know down in the comments below. Links, as always, are in the description to my Twitter, my Instagram. Definitely follow me on there. My Discord server invite is in the description as well, along with other links to like Patreon and my Boba merch store on Teespring. Check those out. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you vigilantes in the next video. Goodbye.